Siman Kuf Mem Test. Shed Tzibur Yitzim V'Seknesses. Shed Yitzniu Sefer Torah V'Sef Echad and Tzibur Shem Latzis V'Seknesses. Shed Yitzniu Sefer Torah. The Tzibur cannot leave the shul until they put the Sefer Torah away, because it's not a covet to the Sefer Torah to just leave the Sefer Torah out and to have people leaving the shul. It's just an individual who's going to leave. That's not a problem. It's not a lack of covet Torah, as long as most of the tzibur remains in the shul. Now this is talking in a case when in a place like David Nosach Sfard. So they said Asher Uval Latzion already. We saw earlier you're not allowed to leave the shul before Uval Latzion anyway. They said Uval Latzion, but they haven't put the Sefer Torah back. So for Yachid to leave while they're still in the shul is not necessarily a problem. However, if it's going to be a scenario that they bring the Sefer Torah to another house, then they would have to wait, and that's what we're going to see now in the Mechaber. If they are going to put the Sefer Torah into another house, like we saw in Simon Kuf Pנחs, there's only one door to the shul. All the people have to remain in the shul until the Sefer Torah has departed. Then they escort the Sefer Torah to the place where it's going to be kept. If there are two doors, they can leave through the other door. But they do still have to escort the Sefer Torah, even though they're allowed to leave the door first. They do have to escort the Sefer Torah to its place where it's going to be stored. In most places where they keep the Sefer Torah in the Aron, in the Shul, at least the people who it passes by, I mean, not everyone in the shul has to go over to walk with the Sefer Torah, but anyone who just passes by the Sefer Torah needs to walk with it until they reach the Aron, which is the place where it's going to be kept there. The same thing is true when they take the Sefer Torah out. The people who the Sefer Torah passes by should walk with the Sefer Torah to the Bima. The one who had Glila should go with the Sefer Torah. This is also one that Ve'omed Sham Ad Sheachziru Sefer Torah. Come and wait there until they put the Sefer Torah back. Like we saw earlier in Siman Kuf Mem Zayin, that there must have the main mitzvah of Golel for us is the one we call the Magbiyah, so he certainly should also go with the Sefer Torah until they get to the Aron. They bring the children to kiss the Torah to be mechanech them in mitzvahs. The Mishnah Berurah over here discusses different minhagim of the saying the Kapitel Chavtelim, say Mizmor L'David on Shabbos, L'David Mizmor at other occasions, and other minhagim about escorting the Sefer Torah to their own